So, the thing with this film is that it keeps things pretty small and contained. It doesn't really aim for the stars. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a newer Disney Plus release, Hollywood Stargirl. Before we begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, or if you were planning on seeing it, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my content out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with more movie-related content like Disney reviews on a near-daily basis. But let's not waste any more time, and let's talk about Hollywood Stargirl. This sees Grace VanderWaal reprise her role as the title character, who goes on a journey out of Mica and into a world of music, dreams, and possibility. This sequel to 2020's Stargirl was written and directed by Julia Hart, who also co-wrote and directed the first movie, and it hit Disney Plus in June. And outside of Stargirl herself, the film focuses on an entirely new set of characters from the first film. Now, while I didn't quite hate the first Stargirl, I was very mixed on it, as I thought the title character wasn't exactly all that fleshed out, and I thought its attempts at being quirky as well as sentimental came off more as corny and overly sappy, along with the fact that the story didn't necessarily feel focused. And fun fact, despite expressing all that very soundly in my review for that movie, that went on to become one of my most polarizing videos on YouTube, only a few months in. So, fun times there. But anyway, this retains that very fluffy, sentimental style of the first film, feeling very tonally consistent with it. However, while this initially feels like we're about to be in for exactly more of the same, this actually proves itself to be a nice improvement over its predecessor, and it actually made for an enjoyable enough time, much to my surprise. Now, the one major improvement this makes is actually giving Stargirl a more defined character, rather than making her feel like this air of mystery that just goes in and out of another character's life with little to no development. With the first film being told through another character's point of view, and with Stargirl being kept at a distance at times, I think it didn't always allow for the biggest emotional impact. This time, however, the film is told through her point of view, and we get a much better insight into her personality and her backstory, as we also get introduced to her mother, played nicely by Judy Greer, and we also learn that the two tend to travel a lot, never really settling down. Greer's role is a very cliched part of the loving but workaholic mother who doesn't spend enough time with her kid, as we see her out of the picture for stretches of time while she's off working as a costume designer on a film shoot. But despite it following some predictable beats, I enjoy the chemistry between Greer and VanderWaal, and it made their relationship feel endearing. Plus, unlike the first movie's more slice-of-life style, the story this time around actually feels focused, with the primary storyline being how Stargirl and her new friends and neighbors, two brothers named Evan and Terrell, try making their own film, which is where the film's title comes from. And it also acts as a nice character study as Stargirl, who's used to a life of constantly being on the move and not having any sense of stability, finds some sense of belonging for the first time in her life. And because she's in a place she truly enjoys living in, it allows her to actually learn a little more about herself in the process, as this is the first time she has a true sense of direction. It can feel a little predictable in getting some of this across, especially as some of the supporting characters also feel like they fit into these very cliched roles. In particular, you have Judd Hirsch as the slightly cantankerous but really well-meaning old neighbor, and you also have Uma Thurman as this reclusive one-hit wonder musician who owns the bar one of Stargirl's friends works at and eventually becomes a mentor figure for the younger characters. And similar to its predecessor, it can lead to moments that feel a little on the cornier side, especially in the way the conflicts can sometimes feel like they get resolved a bit too quickly, such as how our younger protagonists overcome a lot of their filmmaking hitches all too easily. However, despite this, the cast is all very charming, especially VanderWaal and Thurman, along with the fact that some of its humorous moments don't feel quite so forced. I also like the camaraderie that forms between Stargirl, Terrell, and Evan, the latter of whom she forms a relationship with. Their chemistry felt very natural, and the way they played off one another, you wind up rooting for them so easily. And because it actually has a focused story driving things forward, a lot of its fluff and sentimentality feels more earned and actually has some sort of emotional impact. While it can still feel a little cheesy in the way everyone comes together to help Stargirl, Evan, and Terrell, sometimes solving all their problems all too neatly and quickly, because of how strong the cast is, it at least feels nice for what it is. And I also liked how this film took that mysterious nature of Stargirl from the first movie and used it to give her a much more meaningful arc here, as it shows how having such an unpredictable life can actually negatively affect someone. And while I wasn't exactly a fan of the first movie, in hindsight, this actually gives it some extra meaning that I think it was missing. And even if it ultimately doesn't change my opinion of the first movie, at the end of the day, this still works nicely as a standalone sequel, as you can pretty much watch this without having seen the first film, and for the most part, it can still resonate on an emotional level, especially since most of the cast doesn't carry over from the other movie. Plus, at the very least, even if I don't always think its overly sentimental tone worked the smoothest, I did like Hart's direction at expressing all this. She relies a lot on close-up shots so that it gives the film a very up-close and personal feel. It's clear from this she has a true affection for these characters and she wants us to enjoy spending time with them, which is especially evident by its overall laid-back feel. And while it might not always work for me personally, I think this was another reason that this worked a little more on an emotional level than the first film, and one in a way that will appeal nicely to all audiences. Hollywood Stargirl might still retain the cheesier elements of the first Stargirl, however, it's actually a pleasantly surprising improvement over its predecessor. It can feel a little predictable at times, but it has a much more focused story, a sense of sincerity, as well as a charming cast that makes it feel endearing, allowing for it to appeal to older audiences just as much as younger audiences. Whether you liked or disliked the first movie, you actually might just enjoy this either way. Hollywood Stargirl gets a 6.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Hollywood Stargirl, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like it more than the first movie, less than the first movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.